It is 6:30, and I call to order the regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. There is a quorum present. And at this point, the next item of business is approval of the minutes.
Move to approve.
Moved to approve by Jack, seconded by Rick. You may vote now.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
my screen's blank.
We need to get Fran all caught up. And we'll hold vote until Fran gets caught up.
But I can vote verbally.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so motion carries 7-0. And we'll get her up and going. Thank you. The next order of business is a public hearing. It's a public hearing, consideration of a special use permit for communication antenna over 25 feet in height and communication support structure on .0826 acre portion of NEC 11, as northeast corner of 1171 and Valley Parkway Addition. Lot 3R2-B, Block B, Phase 1, located at 1093 West Main Street, Zone General Business District, as requested by Ralph Weingarten, Falk, and Foster on behalf of Hemp Hill LLC, the operator, and TSCA-224 Limited, PS, the property owner. Case number 25-06-10 SUP.
Good evening, Commissioners. Hemp Hill is proposing a telecommunication tower on the vacant north portion of a retail strip center. A propagation map was included with the application that shows the existing connectivity in Lewisiville and the proposed improved coverage with a new 125-foot monopole tower. In addition to the tower, there will be a 10-foot tall lightning rod on top of it, making the entire tower total 135 feet. The applicant informed me ahead of the meeting that the location of the tower, which I will pull up here, let's see. So the compound that the tower sits on and the tower itself may potentially shift 35 feet to accommodate some communication lines that were discovered recently. A finalized version of the plan with the exact location will be completed ahead of the City Council meeting. Telecommunication is an important service that residents and business owners rely on for their day-to-day, and staff does not foresee any negative impacts of the tower on the surrounding area. Staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special use permit as presented in the site plan or as potentially changed in the final version sent to council. I'm here for any questions, and the applicant is also here.
Commissioners, questions?
In my read of the materials, I didn't, with the footprint being as small as it is on the entire parcel it was described, is there any chance that this will come back for a replat at some point in time for a use outside that footprint?
I don't believe so. It's located on the same property, so it's not going to be like a separate owned portion, if that makes sense. It's all still one lot.
They would not have to replat it. They could have another use on the same lot. They could choose to replat it if they chose. But.
Okay.
And there's no conflict with this, with our safety services building being so close by?
No, ma'am.
I didn't figure there was, but worth asking the question.
Of course.
Okay. If there are no other questions from the commissioners, I will open the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak may come forward and speak at this time. Please give us your name and address, and we'll be happy to hear from you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. My name is Ralph Weingarten from Falk and Foster, 1428 Trailside Court Northwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Hemp Hill LLC. Also with me in the audience today are representatives of the property owner, Mr. Quine, and another representative, Preston Day. And this location is going to support Verizon Wireless, but it's also designed to accommodate 3 other future providers. Verizon Wireless's engineering necessity case was included in your packet, basically ensuring that wireless service in this area keeps up with advances in technology and growing demands and capacity is critical to the needs of the community. Improved wireless service in this area will benefit citizens, visitors, and businesses. It will support those who learn or work at home. It'll support people who are shopping, dining, or going about their tasks in this busy commercial area. It also, from a public safety standpoint, allows dissemination of emergency messages, Amber Alerts, radar in the event of storms. Most 911 calls come from wireless devices nowadays, so there's that public safety part of it too. As was mentioned, we did recently discover there's some communication lines running on the parcel through where the proposed compound area is. We haven't been able to identify who those belong to yet. The property owners have made it clear to us that their preference is that the location stay where it is and that we be able to investigate and identify whose lines these are and have them remove them or relocate them because they didn't give any easement for lines in that area. So that's the first preferred choice. If we can't resolve it in that fashion, as was mentioned, there's a possibility it could shift 35 feet west if the landowners agree. And I guess our position is the design wouldn't change, the dimensions of the compound wouldn't change, everything would stay the same. It would just be 35 feet further west on the same parcel, no change in impact. So I guess our request to you tonight would be that you recommend approval either in the current location or if it has to shift 35 feet west. And then before we go in front of council for final action, we'll make sure we resolve all of those items and turn in a final plan with agreement of the landowners for however it gets resolved. I'm happy to, also I wanted to note too, at this height, the pole does not require lighting, so there's not going to be any flashing light or anything at night either. So I'll leave it there for now and happy to answer any further questions you might have. Thanks.
Commissioners?
So I have a question, and this is for Richard or for Michelle.
Okay.
That is right next to where I work. Do I need to remove myself from voting since that location is directly next to the credit union?
Is it within a distance of 200 feet?
I mean, it's 2 or 3 cars away. It's the next building in that grassy area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would, if you're within 200 feet, it would
And
probably
you
just,
are.
as a general rule of thumb, it would probably be best to,
Okay.
to recuse yourself.
Okay, then I will recluse myself from this.
If anyone else wishes to come forward and speak, now is the time, and we'd be happy to hear from you.
I guess just a confirm question for the city, no public comments received on this?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Having no one else come forward, I will close the public hearing. Commissioners? I'll accept a motion.
Recommend approval of the special use permit as presented.
Second.
Motion by Aram, seconded by Ainsley. You may vote now. Motion carries 6-0 with Francesca recusing herself.
Commissioners, this item will be considered by the City Council, who will hold a second public hearing and make a final decision on Monday, October the 20th, 2025 at 7:00 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Next item of business is a regular hearing. Consideration of an alternate standard associated with exterior lighting for Feather Smash outdoor courts on approximately 1.1 acre tract out of the H.H. Smith Survey, abstract number 1576, located on the south side of East Vista Ridge Mall Drive, approximately 200 feet west of Highview Lane, zoned light industrial district as requested by Sarab Shah, P.E. of AARI Engineering LLC, on behalf of Feather Smash LLC, the property owner. 25-08-12- alternate standards.
Good evening, Commissioners. Feather Smash is an existing indoor badminton facility. And earlier this year in February, they requested a special use permit for outdoor pickleball fields that appeared for you back in February. They are now requesting an alternative standard to exceed our lighting standards. So per the Unified Development Code, we only allow a maximum of 20-foot candles for commercial uses. And we allow this to go up a little bit higher for gasoline service centers and other specific uses. But we don't have any particular language for outdoor courts. They're requesting to allow up to 53-foot candles, which is the level recommended by the USA Pickleball Association. When they made this request, I asked our Parks and Rec department what our outdoor courts are lit at. So they went out and took measurements, and our outdoor tennis courts exceeded, or the highest was 49-foot candles. I will say that the photometric sheets they provided with this alternative standard request didn't go above 47-foot candles, but they wanted the option to meet whatever the USA Pickleball Association recommended, which was that 43. So they're requesting the 53. So they're requesting 53-foot candles in lieu of the 20-foot candles. We are likely going to revise the Unified Development Code in the future to have a specific provision for outdoor courts moving forward. I'm happy to answer any questions you have regarding this alternative standard.
Thank you. Commissioners?
John, in terms of the candle power, is there anything in our lighting requirements to talk about reflectivity?
We do not have any language regarding reflectivity. We do have language regarding candles at the property line, specifically when adjacent to single-family residential, which this is not adjacent to any single-family residential. But to answer your question, we don't have language regarding reflectivity.
So we're not going to have neighbors coming complaining about the lights shining into their backyards and all that kind of stuff.
The closest residential neighborhood is to the east, and the building of the existing indoor pickleball facility, which is a tall building, is between these courts and that residential community.
So the lighting won't affect?
Correct.
Yeah, because the facility is smack in the middle.
Right.
But similarly, for people that are driving on Vista Ridge Mall Drive, is that going to be a visual deterrent or like blinding? I don't.
All right. So when they do these lightings, it's shielded in a way to.
Okay.
If you look at the photometrics, I know it's a bunch of numbers on it. The highest it is at the property line is 0.9, but by the time it actually gets to pavement, it's It's 0.2, 0.4, so
So it'll be like more
vastly-
concentrated.
Right, they're all concentrated on the fields themselves.
Okay.
From the previous case, were there any operational hour parameters that were discussed in terms of how late into the night they would be on?
Yeah, I believe so. I do not remember off the top of my head. I know we talked about hours of operation, but I'd have to verify that with the original SCP, which
Can look that
I
up.
have it pulled up, if you give me 3 seconds.
And this is just a question of staff. Has Lewisville addressed any of the dark sky initiatives that are in discussion?
It's something we have looked at over time, but the requirements would be very difficult for us to meet. So I think we've kind of chosen to meet the criteria that we can, just to, for sustainability purposes. But I believe as far as getting the meeting all the requirements to be certified, it would be extremely difficult.
The reason why I ask is that stretch of 121 is lit in an interesting way, and I always wondered if that was the cause of their lighting choices in that stretch. So just an observation. Thank you.
Lighting
No,
along
we
there may
do
have been
require,
affected
though,
more by
that-
the airport than,
I'm sorry.
lighting along that section might be affected more by the airport than by anything we've done.
I was just going to say, some of our kind of dark sky inspired standards are that the lighting be shielded and cut off, so that you, A, don't see the actual source or the bulb of the light, and that it is very directed, so it's not necessarily going all directions, but in this case, specifically onto the pickleball court.
Thank you.
I did not see any mention of the hours of operation discussed. Okay, here we go. 5 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Thank you, Jonathan. Commissioners, any other questions?
Yeah, that's just their general hours of operation.
Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
To approve the alternative standard as presented.
Second.
Motion by Rick, seconded by Josh. You may vote now. Motion carries 7-0.
Commissioners, this item will be considered by the City Council, who will make a final decision on Monday, October the 6th, 2025, at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Announcements?
This Thursday, at the Lewisiville Grand Theater, which is 100 North Charles Street here in Old Town, we will have our first Community Vision Workshop for the Lewisiville 2035 plan. It is from 5 to 8 p.m. It is a come and go event. We're going to have 3 speakers at the bottom of each hour, starting with Coach Mike Odell of the Lewisiville Fighting Farmers, then Paris Rutherford, who is a developer and kind of economics guru, who's going to talk about the economics of placemaking, and then Angela Self, who's FAICP. She is a planner. She has done a lot of community development and community building work, and she's going to talk about what it takes to build a community. We will have hot dog dinners with chips and fruit. And we'll also have Old Town Brass. Will get us kicked off with some live music, so that should be a really fun event. We encourage everyone to attend.
Thank you. The next item of business is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn. Oops, I thought I did.
Move to adjourn by Jack,
Second.
second by Josh. May vote now. We are adjourned. Thanks, y'all.